tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone, you're watching AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. I am your host, Daryl Kristen, and I'm really excited because I have someone with me today who is coming back again. She is beautiful, she's talented, she is the star of Beverly Hills Pond on Reel's channel. Cory Oliver is joining me today.
Oh, such an intro once again. Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
You have so many great things going on in your life, and I just really am excited to just hear about your journey and your path and just everything that's been going on since you came here last year, which was like a year ago, I feel like.
I think it was a little longer, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been honestly a crazy year and a half.
Yeah, a lot of good waves.
Good waves, yes. You know some of the stuff that's been going on because I've been kind of keeping track, via social media with you and in contact. But you know what? I just feel blessed every day, and I'm just grateful that sometimes I don't want to get too preachy, but the Bible says, though it tarry, wait. Yeah. Though it lingers, wait for it, and that applies to everyone. Yeah. Sometimes we feel like we're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then when it comes, it's like so exciting because it's a blessing. So.
Well, it's your faith, because one thing that I admire about you is that I was looking at is that you have a quote that you use. It's, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And I try and live my life that way, and I look at that with the way things have happened for you, and it's really inspirational because I do believe that if you dream it, you can achieve it. And you're celebrating 5 seasons on Beverly Hills Pond.
Yes.
And that is just a show that's blown up on the Reel's channel. What is it like for you to be involved with that show, and just how's your experience been with working on that show for so many seasons?
Well, first let me say that that's actually not my quote, it's Walt Disney, because I want to give him props.
Absolutely.
If you can dream it, you can achieve it. And look what he dreamt.
Yes.
This huge empire,
huge.
Right?
Yes.
But it came with a thought.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. So I do believe that. And in regards to the success of the show, I came to Los Angeles, which we talked about last time, with a dream. Yeah. And it didn't happen overnight. Yeah. And so I went through trials and tribulations and went through the fire, so to speak. And but I never gave up hope, and I never gave up that dream. And I found myself in my kitchen like 3 years ago, talking to God, crying out. I don't know if we talked about this, but I was literally in the kitchen bawling, like just kind of having it out with God. I was like,
were you just done with the industry, or like what was the reason that you were?
I wasn't done with the industry. I actually I just had taken some time off to raise my daughter. Yeah. And I said to her, I want to go back into acting and into the industry. And she said, well, Mommy, let's pray about it. And so for a whole year, she prayed. And for the first 6 months, she said, God, please let my mommy get a show. And the next 6 months, she said, I thank you in advance, God, for my mommy's new show. And I'm thinking, oh boy, like, please, Lord, answer her prayers, right? So I'm in my kitchen and I'm crying, and I'm literally quoting scripture back to God, and I'm saying, you said, Lord, delight yourself in the Lord, and you'll give us the desires of our heart. And this is my desire. And honestly, within like 3 days, the book of Esther came, then the show came, and then the movie God's Not Dead. Yeah. And I just remember saying to him, you know what, if you don't want me to do this, just take the desire away from me. Give me a different desire. So I always say to people, kids and adults, it's never too late to chase your dream. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up hope, because if there's that desire in your heart, go for it. Yeah. Don't give up.
Well, I think also we're at the stage of life where we have YouTube, we have social media that is, I think a false sense of the reality of what people are doing to really expand their careers. And, people think that, well, a lot of times there are people who are YouTube stars who become successful overnight. But in all reality, what they say, 10 years in the business is like you're an overnight success, and you are a huge person who has been in this business for a long time, and we've seen the success from your show. What has been some of the things that you love the most about working on your show?
Honestly, the working is one thing, being in front of the camera is one thing, but I think that there have been so many divine blessings on the background, or when you get to meet people, or when people reach out via Twitter, in social media, Instagram, and you've helped them or you've encouraged them in some way. That's the blessing. Yeah. That really truly is, which I know you understand, is where it's at. Yeah. It's just being able to be a voice for whatever it is that you believe in. And yes, the show is amazing, and I am a huge geek when it comes to memorabilia. Yeah. I love anything old Hollywood and new Hollywood. So getting to research the items, getting to see, the history behind them, and certain things that go way, way back. Finding myself in Zsa Zsa Gabor's living room was...
That's classic.
A classic.
Yeah.
And so, it's really cool to get to know and see the people that come in off the street and the items that they bring. But I think, the behind-the-scenes stuff is awesome, too.
Well, what has been one of your favorite items that you've seen that has been in the shop?
Gosh, there's so many. I think, I said this, did I say this last time? The Marilyn Monroe lighters?
I think so, but no, I think it was something. It was like a guitar or something, I think.
I'm going to say the Marilyn Monroe lighters. They were the lighters that she had given out at her civil ceremony in San Francisco when she married Joe DiMaggio. And so on them they say Marilyn Monroe DiMaggio, and they're one of very few items that have her signature that say Marilyn Monroe DiMaggio.
Wow. And then how do you price it? Because I'm always trying to figure out, like, I look at the show, and even when I go out and just look at different things, how do you guys know what the real value is of an item?
Well, we have experts come in, and they'll value something, and they'll do research, and they have things that are archived, and they'll pull from that. But with these particular lighters, I think they went from $20,000 to $30,000 a piece. They were gold and silver. And, the name alone, when you couple Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, and then the fact that very few items have that actual signature on them, they're worth a lot. I think there was a baseball that came in as well that had both of their signatures on it. They would never sign anything together. So somebody actually got them to sign a baseball, each of them at the same time.
And that's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went for a lot of money, too.
They're icons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he loved her so much, and I am like a huge romantic, so he just loved her so much.
He did.
He sent flowers to her grave for like 20 years after she passed.
That's true love, if
That's
I don't know what
love.
it is.
I know. It makes me want to cry.
I think everyone aspires
Hang on,
to...
I feel that song coming on.
Yeah, right, exactly. I feel like we should be, holding hands right now, singing Kumbaya.
I know. Oh, yeah.
And then you also, a lot of people don't know, you came from a cosmetology background. And how did that help you with dealing with the industry? Because I know you work with Dustin Hoffman, you work with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
And J-Lo.
And J-Lo.
Actually did her makeup on the Home and Family show years ago, the old one, not the new one. There's a new one now with Christina Ferrari and Mark Steins. But the old show was with Christina Ferrari and Chuck Woolery, and I did her makeup. She had just done Selena.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you were she was like the breakout star then.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
How has that helped you with the industry and kind of dealing with the craziness of entertainment?
How do I say this in a nice way? It's humbled me in so many ways that, always be kind to everyone. Yeah. Because you don't know if that person doing your makeup is going to be the person signing your paycheck in 25 years. And that's not the only reason to be kind to them.
Sure. Yeah.
But, it's a huge factor in, just be kind. It doesn't hurt to be kind. Yeah. And it's helped in a lot of ways. That's one of them. But it kind of gave me a format to know how to talk to people and to, it helped. It helped a lot. It's hard to put into words because I was on that show for 2 years, and we did everyone from Isabella Rossellini to Arnold Schwarzenegger, J-Lo, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I mean, so many people came on that show in 2 years. So it was a great opportunity and a fast-paced show. And you got to see behind the scenes, and then they would market me when I book a show. So I did like 90210 and silk stockings, and then they would promote me on the show. It was kind of cute.
And then, are you one of the people that, do you watch yourself back?
No.
And what do you learn about yourself too? Like, you know, in this industry, it's crazy to kind of like take that moment and just kind of, as you advance, to really figure out like how to improve yourself, right? So do you take that moment back and say, I'm going to watch my show, or what have you learned about yourself from working on these different shows?
That's a good question. I don't like to watch myself, but I will, and not all the time. I haven't seen, you know, all of the stuff that I've done, but it's taught me through the years, and which I've hopefully been able to teach my daughter, because as you know, I have almost a 16-year-old on Saturday.
Wow, that's just,
it's taught me to just accept the things that I don't like in myself. Just accept who I am. You know, God made me a certain way, and He made you a certain way, and to just accept yourself and to love yourself, even though you might not like something, or you can pick yourself apart. And as you know, like, you're pretty handsome, Daryl. I don't think you pick yourself apart.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But I can certainly pick myself apart, and it's just kind of taught me to just, you know what, just love yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And I want this younger generation to, I know that it's all about that selfie.
Yeah.
I don't want you to love yourself that much.
And instant gratification, too.
It's not instant gratification. So there's a fine line, there's a balance. But to your question, I don't really like to watch myself, so I'm trying to get a little bit better at that, you know?
Well, I know that you're talking about faith and just how that, I know that even from our last interview, that has really sculpted who you are as a person now. And you're such a rarity in this industry, I feel like, because, you know, a lot of people, actually, religion is such a touchy subject with entertainment as well, because, you know, just people have their own viewpoints of what it is. But I know that's driven you to be the person that you are. With that said, how has your faith helped you with dealing with the obstacles of the entertainment business? And even how does it affect you with the projects that you choose for yourself?
Well, years ago, had I had this kind of success that I have now, I probably wouldn't have been as grounded. I was raised in a Christian home, and I had great parents, and it's taught me over the years, especially in this industry, to never judge. People often ask me questions like, how do you feel about this, and how do you feel about that? And I don't like to engage in some of those things. It's not that I don't have a feeling. It's just sometimes they can switch it and turn it. And I know now that I have a daughter, and now that I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, which is a whole other show.
We want to hear about them,
okay.
though. I think the fans, that's what they love about you.
And I think that it's taught me never, ever judge. And I'm sure I've been guilty of it, and I try so hard not to. But God loves us all. And I know that, because if I had 5 kids, I only have 1, but if I had 5, I would love them all the same. I'd have a different relationship with them, and that's how God is. He loves us all.
Yeah.
He just has a different relationship with all of us. Not one is greater than the next. And so I really feel like it's helped me understand just how to love, you know? And being in the business is a great opportunity, because, you know, it's, a lot of people say you can't be a Christian and be in the industry. Well, you can if you're not judging everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Really, truly, I don't want to stand in judgment. I don't, because it's not for me to judge. You know, God will judge me someday, so
He'll judge us all.
Right? And so there's no point. Like, we're supposed to love one another, and so that's kind of what I want to do. It's just.
But how does that affect you with projects? Because, as you were mentioning, you know, you don't judge, which is a great thing, but then there's a lot of projects that probably come your way that it's maybe a difficult thing to choose if that's the right thing for you. How does that play into you picking the roles that you do, or picking the certain projects that you participate in?
Well, that's a good question, and I do always reflect on, like, what would God want me to do, but I also have a 16-year-old daughter too, so I do have to pick projects that, you know, will somehow help her in some ways, guide her. You know, I don't want to do things that go against the grain in my spirit, which might be, you know, okay for somebody else, and I wouldn't judge them. It's just, I have to be careful. So it does both, you know, my faith and my daughter, I would say, kind of are the navigator in that ship. Yeah. And
with you having a young daughter, and clearly are a great inspiration to her and just to other young women who want to fall into the footsteps that you are obtaining, what advice would you give them for people who, you know, there's young starlets who come in Hollywood all the time, and I'm sure that they deal with different pressures on the balance of faith versus what's the right thing for them to do and to advance in this career. What advice would you give them?
This sounds really funny, but I always say this: don't drink.
That's a challenge. And, you know, I mean, there's parties, there's premieres.
I'm not saying
so you don't drink at all when you go. You know.
Well, I don't drink, and I'm not judging if they don't drink, but I'm saying like don't go out and get hammered.
Yeah.
You can go and have like a drink, but don't get hammered, because your first impression, you might be out and you might meet, I'm just going to say Steven Spielberg, why not? Yeah. And if you're hammered and trying to have a conversation, he'll most likely remember that situation.
That's true.
And you're representing yourself.
Yeah.
So not that you don't drink, it's just know how to represent yourself in every situation. First impressions. Yeah. And that was such a silly little off-the-cuff remark. It wasn't like exactly what I would say.
No, I appreciate that.
But I would say you work very hard at what you do, Daryl. It shows. Know your craft. Know what you're doing, what it is you're doing in the business. It's kind of like going to the gym. I don't go do acting classes every day, but I'll go to an improv class, or I'll go, it's kind of like a workout.
Yeah.
So know what it is that you want to go after, and know what it is, know what you need to do to get there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I think a lot of young guys and girls come here and they get lost in the party scene, and that breaks my heart, because it can waste years of your life.
Yeah, and age you.
And right, it does.
Yeah. Guys
get character lines, and women just get wrinkles. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
You have
I'm not
wrinkles,
drinking.
so you definitely are living a great life.
But I just think it's important to stay focused.
Yeah.
I always tell my daughter, stay focused, and I can see, like, sometimes when she's, got all kinds of things going on, like, I can see how it reflects in her grades, or in, even though she's getting good grades. You got to stay focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. I'm sure your parents have said that.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep your eyes on the prize.
And then, is your daughter interested in getting to the business, and how do you feel about her entering into the business?
She did plays for a while,
okay.
And she's so talented, but she is an extraordinary water polo player.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that. Sports.
She's so strong. I mean, I could go on and on about her. She's just an amazing person, and now I need a tissue. No, I love her so much. She's honestly,
I see it in your eyes.
The greatest gift I've ever received. Like, if nothing else happened from this day forward, like.
See, now I need to find a tissue in here.
She truly is, and I am in awe of her every day, and I just look at her strength, and. Sorry.
I think you're going to make me tear up.
Sorry.
No, that's an amazing thing. And, kudos to you, because you obviously have, put in the work in your career and in your life that reflects that, and your spirit is just such a great spirit. So I'm clearly not surprised that your daughter is just as amazing as you are.
She's awesome. Mm-hmm.
And I know that, this has been a great year for you, and there's been a lot of ups and downs and whirlwinds that have gone on. And I know that recently we were talking, and I know that there were some issues with some health issues. And I would love for you to share that story with the viewers and listeners, because I think it's really inspirational to hear your story and how you dealt with that. So could you give us a little bit of background on what you were dealing with your fibroid tumors?
Yeah, about almost 2 years, a year and a half ago maybe, it was really hot in the summertime, and I drank a lot of water, and my stomach just didn't feel right. I hadn't noticed anything prior to that, but it just didn't feel right. So I went to the emergency room. I wasn't in pain. It just to be graphic, I couldn't pee. I'm just being honest. I'm a mom. We talk about these things.
We all pee.
Sorry, Daryl.
We all pee. It's okay.
And
I'm not judging.
And so they took this ultrasound right on the spot, and I had like a grapefruit-size fibroid tumor sitting in my abdomen.
Wow.
And I tried for a year to shrink it myself. I researched it.
When you say that, what type of things did you do to?
Oh my goodness! I did everything you could imagine. I took chasteberry. I took all kinds of different herbs. I took all kinds of things, and they were all holistic.
And where'd you find out about these things for someone who may be dealing with it, so they know where to go?
Okay. On the internet. But one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it was because, and I'm not saying that surgery is the answer for everyone, but mine got so big that I almost lost my bladder, and like if I had gone any longer, I could have lost a kidney. It got to be almost like 3 pounds. It was huge. Wow. It was just huge. And having researched this and talked to some people and other parents at my daughter's school, and I realized so many women are getting these things.
Yeah, it's common.
Very common. And so I really wanted to create some awareness about it and just say, hey, I understand. And I always say there should be a fibroid support group, because I had my daughter naturally, but having had this, I had to have sort of this is a lot of information for you.
No, listen, no, it's okay.
But I had to have almost like a C-section. And I was so freaked out because I didn't want a scar. And I was just, so many things went through my mind. And I researched 5 different doctors, and I finally found a doctor. I can say his name, Dr. Brian Fenmore, in Tarzana, and he just was amazing in getting me through the process. I don't even have a scar. He was amazing. I think I told him I loved him.
Shout out to Dr. Brian, you said?
Brian K. Fenmore, yes.
Shout out to him.
No, he truly just walked me through it and was, listened to me and answered every question I had, which I felt was really important, because prior to that, I wasn't getting the answers that I needed to go under the knife, And so, praise God again, it was not cancerous, it was benign.
Thank God.
So, I had that surgery, and then 2 weeks later ended up presenting at the Movie Guide Awards.
Wow.
Which was, you can barely walk when you have this kind of surgery.
Yeah, what's the recovery like? I think that we have a picture. Jonathan, you can pull up a picture of this,
okay,
because
sorry, everyone.
I think that really, gives an idea of really how this was affecting your body, and I mean these 2 pictures here.
I don't know if you can see me pointing. You kind of can't, but the top photo is the tumor when it came out, and the bottom photo is they rinsed it off and they unravel it and they cut into it to make sure that it's not cancer. So they're the same thing.
Those 2 pictures are the same thing?
Those are the same thing.
Wow.
Yes.
And what was the size, that was
it was almost 3 pounds, I believe, or 2 something.
Wow.
Yes. And so as you can imagine, that sitting on your bladder is heavy duty.
I can't even imagine. I mean, that's just...
It's so nice to be able to drink a glass of water and not have to go pee 10 times in like 1 hour. So, that was kind of what happened in January, and I'm recovered now fully, and I feel so good. I almost wish I almost wish that I had done it sooner, but I had to go through my own process, and everybody does.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot, and I found a really, really great doctor, and feel comfortable with who you decide to go with.
I think that's really important. With whatever your health issues are, it could be something as small as a dermatologist, whatever. But I think having the right doctor is key,
right.
And getting a second opinion too.
Oh yeah, I had 5. I actually flew to Denver and had an opinion. He was a great doctor. I just didn't end up having the surgery there. I had it done here, and so Dr. Brian Fenmore. He was amazing.
Brian's the man. Because you were able to bring us Cory back today, and we are happy about that. And then also, I know that I was doing a little research, and I found out that fibroid tumors affect about 30% of women ages 30 to 45. And, I just really applaud you for coming in and telling that story, because we're in Hollywood and everything is so glamorous. And a lot of people suffer through things like this and don't want to tell that story.
Yeah.
Why was it important for you to tell the story to your fans and just people in general?
Because this is so prevalent. I mean, like I said, having done research and talking about it, I talk about everything. My mom would always say to me when I was younger, honey, some things are better left unsaid. And I was like, I kind of have a little bit of, I just let it out. So it was important because people do suffer in silence, I realized. And someone would say to me, I had that too. That happened to me too. And, and so I realized, I welcome any questions that anybody has. I'm not a doctor, but I do know what I've researched, and I just want people to know that it's not, you kind of feel isolated when someone tells you something like that, and you have to have surgery, and it's, kind of can be depressing or sad, or, but that was one of the things that I was so grateful to have found Dr. Fenmore because I had also a 5-centimeter cyst in one of my ovaries.
Wow.
And he saved it. And not the cyst, my ovary. And so it was important to me. You know, there's certain requirements for different people, and so that was really important to me. And I just want people to, you know, I want to be able to help people. I really do. I feel like when we go through something, we go through it for our own reasons and to, you know, understand there's always a lesson in it. But if you can help someone through that process, even just one person, then it's almost worth going through it.
Knowledge is key.
You know?
And we learn by example. And with so many people looking up to you, you know, they're going to be more willing to listen to this situation because it does affect so many people. I mean, 30% is a heavy number, you know, in this category.
And also get regular checkups.
It's key. So key.
Get regular checkups. It's not that I didn't. Mine was pedunculated, which means it was on the outside of my uterus. I know, Daryl. I'm so sorry.
I have learned more about the female anatomy in the last 20 minutes.
I know.
No, this is very important.
Yes, but it's harder to detect when you're having your pap smears, because I don't need to go into all that for you, but it's harder to detect. So just make sure that your doctor's really giving you thorough searches every year, because had I gotten it smaller, I probably wouldn't have had to have had such an invasive surgery.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely get your regular checkups.
And how does your family deal with this? I mean, you mentioned you have a young daughter who's turning 16 this weekend. Happy pre-birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
How did they deal with that? This is such an emotional roller coaster with dealing with health, and you know, it's just how did you guys get through that?
We've had a lot of things going on in our family in the last 4 months, but with this particular situation, you know what? Your kids, your children will take lead from you, and so you got to stay strong for your kids. You just can't fall apart, you know.
Yeah.
And I find my strength in God. So
God is key.
He's so got me through it. I'm telling you, it's just And my dad came and helped me, and my stepmom came to help. So they stayed with me for a couple weeks and got me to a point where I could go and to Movie Guide.
And that's a huge experience. And then, one final question I want to wrap up with that is, how do you avoid it happening again? Like once you have the surgery, is that something that you're clear with that, or is it something that could reoccur again? Like how does that work?
They definitely are hereditary. They can be hereditary fibroids, and my mom had them. Sorry, Mom. But she did. And so, yeah, they can come back. I don't know that I will get them back, but they can come back.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and it depends, and I could go into that, but it's a little bit more detailed, and I want to really fully take you down today.
No. I appreciate the story that you're telling us. So,
but yes, they can grow back, and that can mentally. And one of the things this is so big on, or I wanted to talk about this, was because yes, it's a physical thing, but mentally it can really, I
can imagine it's so exhausting.
It's exhausting, and I didn't want to take any medication, and I didn't want to, I have high tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
But I can't stress enough, like, just get your yearly checkups.
Yeah,
and
so key.
It's so key. And I know everybody says that when they have, breast cancer, and it's early detection is key. And it definitely is in this situation as well. Because a lot of these things are based on hormones.
Yeah.
And your hormones change as you get older and younger and older. So it's definitely early detection is key.
Well, I applaud you, and I'm glad that everything is okay, and you're able to sit with us today. And even from then, you're such a positive person that you moved on to get a great campaign, the Boots campaign.
I did.
So tell us about that. And I think we have a picture, actually, of your campaign ad that was shown here. There you go. You got the cool, are those like Timberland boots?
They kind of are. They're kind of like, they're army boots. And the whole concept behind the Boots campaign is to get your boots on, America. That, these soldiers go out and fight for you and I and our freedom. And they oftentimes come back and things look different for them. They've lost, arms and legs, and then sometimes they'll even lose their family because things fall apart. Mm-hmm. And so, having had a grandfather that was in World War II and was a gunner and a chef on the LST ship, when they approached me, Hope Diamond is the publicist for this charity. when they approached me, it was just a resounding, immediate yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even think I asked. I was just yes, because, I mean, these people go out and give up their lives.
Yeah.
And all the freedoms that you and I have, and a latte in the morning.
That we take granted, you know.
Yeah, and so this was just a cool campaign. And as you can see, the boots, these are the actual boots that I purchased myself because I loved them. They were so comfy, but they say right here in the corner, boot campaign on them. And a lot of people are coming forward in this campaign. A lot of them, The Rock has, Chris Harrison. I mean, there's just a lot of people that are supporting our troops. And to me, it just says support your troops.
Yeah.
And it's really the least that we can do, you know? I mean, I wish I could do more.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of, when you think about it in its totality, you want to personally thank everyone that has given up their lives, literally.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, for us. And so Johnny Joseph Jones and Marcus, they were great. They were both there. And they have had some things go on with them. You know, Johnny lost his legs and Marcus lost his arms. And so it was great to meet them. And just to get to work with them was an honor and a privilege, really.
And then outside of this, what other projects can fans find you on? I know that you're doing a bunch of stuff. We obviously know that the season's coming back for Beverly Hills Pond, but what other projects are you working on or you have your hands in?
Well, I was a former makeup artist, as you know,
Yep.
and so I'm starting a line. Anyone who knows me on a daily basis knows that I have a lipstick addiction. Yeah, I think I have every color and then some. And so I'm starting a cosmetic line, so we'll see how that goes.
That's unbelievable.
It's been exciting.
You're like your own new Kardashian.
No,
you know?
no, I'm not. I just want to have like an affordable, fun line. You know, having been a single mom, you know, it's my impulse buy. It's I don't feel guilty when I purchase a lipstick.
And what will be different about your line than other cosmetics that are out there?
Well, you have to stay tuned for that.
The secret, see,
there is a couple secrets.
Okay.
So yeah,
we'll have to have you back, and you'll reveal those secrets.
Yes. I actually have a little. It's not a lipstick, but it's a little card that I have a little present here for you. But I did kiss your card.
I love it.
Because I love you, Dario.
I want to put it on like a frame, you know. See,
you're one of very few that have my lips on the card.
See, that is. Listen, this is a prize right here. I'm cherishing this. I'm not actually. I actually want to put it like right on my mic right here.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
And you know, we talked about the season of Beverly Hills Pond, and that's coming up again. Is there any kind of sneak little secrets that you can give us about what you're going to be what we're going to be exposed to in the next season, or have you started taping yet?
We
as
haven't
well?
started taping anything yet, so I don't have any of that information for you, but I'm sure it will be spicy when it goes.
I like that word, spicy.
Yeah.
And then with you just do so many different amazing things, and you're an open book. And once again, I just really appreciate the fact that you were able to come in here and educate people about just things that are going on in your life, and just not scared, you know, to tell the stories. What is something about yourself that people would never guess about you?
Well, there's so many things that are running through my head because I do have a lot of little isms.
What comes
the first thing that comes to mind?
I always say that
is that I have a little bit of OCD.
Okay.
When it comes to my bed. And I used to have like wet wipes stuck under my bed before. Wait. Before I'd get in it, and I'd have to wipe my feet down after I've showered and I've gone out to my bed. I'd have to wipe my feet down to get in it. But I've gotten past that.
Do you have carpet or hardwood floors?
I have zero carpet. I can't have carpet.
Just because you just don't, bacteria, like whatever, you just don't feel like.
It freaks me out just to have carpet. So I have hardwood and I have tile. Hardwood upstairs and tile downstairs.
And so you wipe your feet before you go to bed?
Yes.
Still to this day?
Well, no, I've gotten a little bit better. Yeah, I have a little bit of OCD.
Do you have pets?
I did.
Okay.
But she passed away. Her name was Snickers. So
did you wipe Snickers' feet before she?
I wiped her bum.
Okay,
Every time she would go to the bathroom, I would get a wipe and wipe her bum. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I'm admitting this.
No, listen. I'm not upset with you right now because I have a dog, Minnie, and I wipe her butt and her feet
gets in your bed.
because you just never know what she's picking up. I feel that. I totally understand that.
People think I'm crazy, but they did think I was crazy. But you know what? I felt better, and I'm so sorry I'm unloading all this stuff on you
Listen,
today.
I feel honored that you're unloading this because that's the type of friendship we have.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, that's one of the things that people probably wouldn't not see me as. Yeah.
So wet wipes. So when they're not in the store, you know where they're at. They're at Cory's house.
Completely.
Well, I got a couple. We're going to wrap up soon, but I got a couple fun questions that I want to ask you because you've educated so many people today. But I want people to really get to know you. So what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, well, Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm a romantic, and I'm still kind of waiting for my king to come along. But I love Pretty Woman because it's the
great movie.
Dream behind it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm certainly not going to go stand on Hollywood and Vine.
right.
But I do love love.
Sorry, I just. Yeah.
Did you get that visual?
I just got a visual right now, Cory. I'm sorry.
With my wet wipes?
Yeah, with your wet wipes and this really nice red dress, as pretty as you are. You know, just sorry.
I'm so sorry. Richard Gere, right?
I've learned a lot about you today.
I know. So you asked me.
No, I love it.
Yeah, so I'm a romantic person. I love love. Any kind of,
thing.
I love love. I love the romantic comedies.
So Pretty Woman. Favorite song out right now?
Oh, gosh. Favorite is Do You Believe by Newsboys.
Oh, great song.
Have you heard that song?
I have heard that song.
Awesome. It's amazing.
That's an amazing song.
It is.
What item can you not live without at all times? It's always in your purse or your pocket or something.
Lipstick.
I was going to say it's probably going to be lipstick. I think I knew the answer to that.
It's lip gloss. Actually, my current one is the Miley Cyrus by MAC.
Okay.
I love it.
Miley Cyrus by MAC. Okay. Yes. Favorite thing to do on a rainy night?
Watch movies with my daughter.
Love that.
Yep.
And then last question is, this is like a throwing a random question. Bruce Jenner, brave or publicity stunt?
Brave.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what it takes to come and expose yourself.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I watched that show, and I could cry right now.
I see it. You're like,
no,
you're making me emotional.
No, people don't understand, like, you just don't know what someone's going through until you walk a mile in their boots, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes all the way from the soldiers to people in general. And
yeah.
so it's like, I can't judge. And I don't know, you know. I do know it's a big deal to go and put yourself out there in any way.
Yeah.
So.
And I applaud him for his courage, you know, and telling his story, and just he's going to affect so many people's lives. And I think that's the key in this business, no matter how successful you get, to be able to tell your story and just help others, you know.
It's a hard thing to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It is. Very much so, because we get criticized.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And as far as social media, fans want to know more about your makeup line and just you and your projects. Like, how can they find you?
Cory Oliver 1. It's Cory Oliver and then ONE, not the number 1. Okay. And that's the Twitter, and then Cory Oliver 1 is Instagram, and Facebook's just Cory Oliver.
Well, you
or
know,
you can contact Daryl.
I know where she lives, and I know her number, and I will filter all requests.
Yes.
The important ones. Don't send me silly ones that she's just beautiful. You know, just
You're so
filter
sweet.
the good ones.
To me. I love you.
No, thank you. This has been amazing. I feel like people hopefully got a chance to know a different side of you, and just to hear your story. And I don't know if you can get this from the interview, but she has such an amazing heart and just a beautiful person, and that's so rare in this industry. So I applaud you for staying that way from the day one that I met you to now. It's just been consistent, and that's a rarity. So please stay the same, and I know you will.
Awesome. Thank
you. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On, and we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll probably have Cory on pretty soon to tell more about her projects and other things going on.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.